Hey friends! Today let's look through the sketchbook that I drew during our 3-week family trip to Turkey this spring. It's small because I like the idea of a sketchbook as a complete story. One trip, one sketchbook. Here is, as usual, an envelope with all sorts of piece of paper to test paints, postcards, tickets and so on. And a reminder to create without a plan and obligations. It's important. This pink page is made out of wrapping paper. The cool shirts I bought for myself for New Year's were wrapped in it. And if I had not included in the sketchbook, then I would have had to just throw this paper away. It flattens nicely. First, delicate flowers. We arrived to Turkey, rented the apartment and found the large cherry tree or almond tree, I don't know for sure, near our balcony, just beginning to bloom. Therefore, I painted these flowers on the first page of my art journal. It's just a street not far from where we lived, supermarket in the beautiful golden light of setting sun. The garden behind our apartments. One of the first days of the trip, my son and I woke up, had breakfast on the balcony and decided that this view was definitely worth to be painted. Our apartments were located in the center of the old town, in a rather noisy place, but behind the house there was a huge garden with lush greenery, cherry or almond blossoms, an orange tree, lemon tree, mountains, and the old fortress were visible, and amazing scent. One morning we painted this garden sitting on the balcony. Here are some of my notes. This is a garden created by my son. He is 6 years old. I think this is a very cool idea to draw together and then put kids' work in an art journal. Firstly, this is a good memory. Secondly, the kid feels that his or her drawing is also important. It will also be in a sketchbook. This is a reason to be proud of her or himself. Night view from our alley to the main street. Here is a beautiful light on the tree and delicate expressive shadow. Beautiful. And this is just the dried flower that matches the color of the night sketch. Birds. One day my friends, children and I went to the beach to paint birds. Here is the one bird in the hands, here is another one. We finished when the sun had already set. The children began to run along the beach with the birds in their hands, imagining themselves as the birds. It was so beautiful, so I wanted to remember this moment. Children with birds and the birds themselves. Magical memory. It's just a board sketches. And the very quick 5-minute sketch of the fisherman. Here is also a fisherman in different poses. I just stood behind him, watched him fish and at the same time looked after the children and quickly sketched a few poses. Oh, this page has a history. First, I drew my daughter while studying, but something went wrong. I did not like the sketch and just took a dark watercolor tone and painted over everything. For a long time it was just a black page, but then I took gouache and painted the sunset on top. We observed this view on the last day of our trip when we went to the bus station to find out the schedule of buses to the airport. Mimosa. I'm used to mimosa looking different. Turkish mimosa has branches hanging down. When we were in Turkey, mimosa was in bloom. There were a lot of yellow trees everywhere. I wanted to constantly take a photo of them, and there was no chance not to paint mimosa in my sketchbook. Yellow goes great with pink. It's the same wrapping paper that was in the beginning. And here is an inscription reminding me artists need life, otherwise their art becomes lifeless. Blossoming cherry branch. This technique, white gouache on craft paper, always looks spectacular. Whatever you paint with gouache on craft, it will turn out pretty well. Pinkish flower buds look great with pink paper. This sketch, not that I'm proud of it. I then bought gouache in tubes and decided to try it. And you know, I'm a crazy watercolor lover. It was the warmest day of the trip. In March, Turkey is still cool and not the beach season. But this day we went to the beach with a large group of friends. Several families with children rested, talked, watched the children playing and so on. I took out paints, gouache tubes and painted this view without thinking, just to try paints. And you know, I don't really happy with this sketch, but it's like a portal to that beautiful warm day with my friends. That's why I love it so much, and that's how sketching works. There is such a story with this airplane. There was the monument to the pilot in the park, and the old airplane next to it. My son is a huge fan of airplanes. He played great there. That's why I drew this sketch. This is me walking from the market, happy. I have wind in my hair, in my dress, and a little bit in my hat too. I'm carrying ripe strawberries, fresh herbs, bread, and feel pretty good. It seems that I managed to catch my mood of lightness here. Beautiful day, warm weather, and so on. And everything is okay. And the strawberry pattern here, it's impossible to eat delicious strawberries and not to paint them, yeah? Pre-storm state of nature. We walked in the park and there were thunderclouds around us, everywhere. It felt like it might rain at any moment. I found a place under the roof and quickly painted this sketch. We even figured out where we would run if it had started to rain, but it never started. The clouds left and I was left with this sketch that conveys the mood before the rain. Warm weather, but strong dusty wind and blue thunderclouds around. I love the combination of red and blue in this sketch. This is my daughter sitting on the pier, flipping her feet in the water, and the phrase I repeat to myself over and over again lately. This is super important and therapeutic to me now. And this sketch is familiar to you, I guess. I showed you the process of creation it, inspired by the cooking of dinner with my kids. Some elements are cut out and glued as application. Watch the video if you haven't yet. I think it might be interesting. And there are just pieces of paper from the trip. Either throw them away or stick them here. My boarding pass, the piece of tissue paper from the cafe, the sticker from the total hospital, and a reminder to be kind to myself. That's all. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.